The idea of the MedPAC with rescissionist authority as it relates to Medicare and Medicaid was an idea proposed by the Republicans in 1997. Dropped in the balanced budget agreement, required by this president. And trust me, a lot of people didn't want to do it. Demanded, otherwise there wouldn't be a bill. The exchange came out of Mitt Romney's health care legislation in Massachusetts. The idea of the individual mandate was the idea first proposed by Republicans, going back to Senator Chafee in the 1994 bill. The idea of these kind of game changers of paying for quality rather than quantity. Now, it doesn't have a philosophical bent, but it's something that Republicans did. Now, that to me is one of the great ironies of this debate, and it will be something I will mentally debate among myself how that happened. But the core ideas that made up this health care bill, because it's fundamentally based on the health care system we have today and private delivery and private insurance companies, how that got described as socialist when the core ideas were all ideas advanced by Republicans over the last 20 years. In '94, Senator Chafee, the Republican from Rhode Island, had 32 Republicans on a bill that matched almost the President Clinton's at that time, and the big debate was between an individual mandate versus an employer mandate. The irony of today, give you by example, Senator Chafee had an individual mandate. The Democrats at that point had an employer mandate. There was no compromise. This bill that President Obama just passed has the individual mandate, which was the cornerstone of Senator Chafee's bill. And the lawsuit that the Republicans or some are talking about today is about what divided people in '94, in which the Republicans had proposed.
What's the significance of passing it?
There's multiple significances. I mean, let me start from the kind of meta, or let me start from the particular. For individuals, I mean, look today. United Health announced, the insurance company, they're going to allow kids up to the age of 26 to stay on their parents' insurance policy, so they get coverage. A lot of kids coming out of college or going on to work don't have health care, but they're now going to be able to stay on their parents. That was one of the insurance reforms. United Health decided to get ahead of it. It's coming on line a couple months from now. They decided to do it early. That's a deliverable for people. So it's a particular. Seniors this year will get a $250 so they can buy, who kind of have used up as part of the prescription benefit. They'll get another $250 so they can buy in that kind of donut hole where the gap exists in coverage. 3, there'll be other parts of the insurance reform, so insurance companies cannot discriminate against on pre-existing conditions. Those reforms will hit in. Then on the meta, if I wanted to talk about it, 2 issues I would also explore what it means. You actually have the first real reform of Medicare, so we can control costs. I've always somewhat described this as entitlement reform in a healthcare box. And lastly, it says to the world, which was quite clear the other day when 52 leaders from around the world showed up for the Nuclear and Terrorism Conference, that a superpower like the United States can once again do big things. And
so
if you're
it
going to
changed the perception, healthcare changed the perception of the president around the world.
Oh, there's no, yeah, it changed. I mean, that's not the reason you do healthcare. You did healthcare so we can control costs, change the incentives in the healthcare system, expand coverage, give people choice in the system. There was a residual benefit or an extra benefit in addition that no doubt showed the president as a capacity, given how much political capital he spent in it, that he also got on the international arena. People saw the power that came because of the success. And every success begets another success, which is what happened with also the reform of the higher education system that was part of that legislation. And it's given a forward momentum now to also deal with financial reform. The accusation about President Obama, pretty similar to what they called Roosevelt a socialist. They said that President Kennedy was threatening America. They tried to delegitimize President Clinton. All in period of times of great economic anxiety. So those charges aren't new, the role of government. That's why the debate about health care in a bizarre way is on the public option, and there was a debate, and I understand why Democrats wanted it, was in a period of time where people had skepticism of government. And that's a hard thing to have, to basically manage your way through. But remember, you can go farther back, but just to use Roosevelt, Kennedy, or President Clinton, all these presidents face similar accusations about their policies because it's about an interpretation of what the proper role is government. He sees government as a tool for affirmative force, but it's mainly to setting kind of the rules and then letting the private sector operate within those rules. That would be like how you see the financial sector. Without proper regulation, without proper oversight, and without appointing good people, a marketplace can't work. It's not to dominate, it's not to control. Set the rules of the road and let people operate within that.